Hey guys, my name is Coach Kira Lee, or Coach Kira. I am your flyer coach, and I will talk you through all of the stunting basics. Our video 2 will be about stretching, and our video 3 will be about how to pull those skills. For surface progressions, I always recommend flyers starting off on a flat surface, so either a cheer mat, or you can even think of it as like going on your hardwood floor. And then our next progression would be to go to a stunt stand. So this is a type of stunt stand. You do not have to buy this. This is very expensive. I've always told a lot of the other girls that there is a yoga block that you can buy on Amazon, or even go to like the 5 and Under store, and you can get a yoga block, and even like that could be your stunt stand. But you cannot pull any skills on the stunt stand until you have them pulled solidly and comfortably on the hardwood floor first. So refrain from using the stunt stand until you are comfortable pulling those skills on a hard surface first. This is safety, obviously. And then after our stunt stand, we will go to a wobble board, something like this. So it kind of has like a little rocking thing on the bottom, and that will challenge them even more, and that will kind of feel almost like they're in the stunt. So that is the progression. So hard floor surface first, and then their stunt stand will be next, and then a wobble board. This is a video about staying tight and squeezing, and what we mean by squeezing your body and what it looks like. So first things first is we want to engage our core. So really squeeze those tiny muscles. And when you're going up in a stunt, you want to think, hey, I'm reaching for the sky. So you lift your shoulders up and you really hollow in those belly muscles. So we're here. Also, you can think of it as you're just pulling up with our arms by your side. So you're just pulling, pulling, pulling. Again, engaging your core muscles, sucking in that belly. We're also squeezing our butt muscles. Our legs are squeezed. Our knees are also tight. So we're pulling up, and with everything that we have, you can think of reach for the sky. Notice that also I am in a straight line. I am not butting out, or I'm not sticking my hips too forward. You don't want to do that. I always teach the flyers here. You want to think of it as a head, shoulders, knees and toes, or head, shoulders, waist, knees and toes. But always think head, shoulders, knees and toes are always in alignment at all times. If not, this can get us issues with toeing or heeling, and this is when our stunts, we see them bobble, and we don't want that. This section is all about balancing, and we're going to use the wobble board to help us with that. So our first thing that we're going to learn is transferring weight. So obviously you're going to learn how to first stand on a wobble board, which is super easy. All you're doing is one foot on one side, other foot on another. With the wobble board, this is where you're wanting to learn how to balance. So I always say that this is a great beginner tool to learn how to balance. So you want to make sure that you're not on the edges or falling off the side. We want to be in like a happy medium spot. You can't do this if you're very loose or talking like I am. So again, with our stunting basics, we're going to squeeze our leg muscles, squeeze our butt, engage our core, and pull up. And arms by our side, or you can even have them in a high V, and this will give us our happy medium spot. I always recommend flyers holding this position for a long time. They can have fun with it. It's all about just like getting comfortable with learning what it feels like to be in the air and what will it actually feel like when things start to happen underneath them and they're not prepared for it. So we're just going to get a look at what it means when a flyer is towing and heeling, and we're going to use this wobble board to help visualize what that looks like and how we can fix that as a flyer. So when the flyer is first in the air, you want to get that happy medium spot, right? But things aren't always perfect. So then we might tow, or our bases might accidentally kind of put that in that position that we don't like. So then we kind of lean forward and our heels go up. But hey, as a flyer, you can control a lot of the stunt yourself. So all you have to do is gradually just go back in your heels. You don't want to overcompensate and go straight to your heel, because if you go straight to your heel, your toes go up and you bend and you back out and you fall. We don't want that. So make sure that you're not always overcompensating, because your bases are trying to help out too with this. Same thing as if you're heeling in a stunt. So we're in our happy medium position and we're saying, hey, something happened, and we're heeling in a stunt, and we gotta slowly say over our body. And you can also see this in the air as well with the body position, that it also shows, because the flyer isn't saying head over shoulders, over knees, over toes. This section is all about loading in and jumping into our stunt, or our base's hands. So first, what Maddie, my assistant's gonna do is she's gonna find our base's shoulders, their back shoulders of course, and she's always gonna make sure her elbows are up at all times. Obviously her base is gonna be taller, but when you're at home, you can think of it as practicing on a couple chairs or anything else that you can find close by that basically reenacts a base. So first, when loading in, you're always gonna think of you have to jump. Your base can't do everything for you, right? So when we first load in, we're just gonna help our flyers jump in. We dip and up, and notice that she is over head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Her ankles are squeezed together, so I was thinking as our ankles are always kissing. Our weight is all in our arms. When I remove this red mat from underneath Maddie, she should not be able to fall to the floor. She should be able to have her arms and elbows are locked and our shin is up, and we should be able to hold our own weight in that tucked position. So we shouldn't always have any weight at all in our base's hands when we are in the loading position. For our side view of what loading in looks like, we're gonna have our chairs at home or wherever about waist length apart, just to make sure that we can stay over our body. Also, the flyer has the most control of the stunt. So if my bases were too far apart and I'm loading in, I can move them in with my arms. So as a flyer, we don't realize that, but we do have the most control in the stunt other than the back squat. So when we are loading in, it's the same thing, but at the side, this is what it's gonna look like. So she's jumping in, our head over shoulders, over knees, over toes. And always make sure you are staying in this alignment, and our weight distribution is always in our arm. Our backs are also arched a little. I always think of it as putting your butt in your back squat space. Just don't fart, haha. This section will be about holding your own weight and that weight distribution. So when Maddie goes in and loads into that stunt, she'll go 1, 2, and she will keep that weight distribution all in her arms, so her arms are locked and really strong. Use those muscles. Our back is arched. Our ankles will be squeezed together, and this is when you will not use a mat underneath you. So this is a drill that I like to use. I prefer flyers to be able to hold this tuck position by themselves for at least 1 minute. Casually build up to that standard. Always make sure though that your head is over your shoulders, over your knees, over your toes. So right now, we wanna make sure here, and always make sure that we are also arching our back as well. And no weight should be in our base's hands at this point as well. So this next section is about dipping into the stunt, or after the load in, you're going dip and up to that stunt. So again, like always, we're gonna have our elbows up, but in actuality, our base are gonna be up here. So elbows are up. We're gonna load in, dip 1, 2, our back squats grab us, we dip, use your legs, and push up. This is that load in position where my arms have all of my weight, and then you're going to give your legs to your bases, but also the bases should have their hands right where you're going to place your feet, so you shouldn't have to always spread your legs. And then at this position, to dip up, we're gonna use our shoulders, right? We're not gonna bend our arms and dip up, we're gonna use our shoulders. So our arms are locked, and we think dip, push off our bases, and squeeze our body up. Again, engaging that core, pulling up, squeezing our bottoms, and locking out our legs, and making sure we have that point that we like, and we're not heeling or toeing. So we like to find that middle place where we feel most comfortable. Again, sometimes bases are changing their grips at this time. Also, to come down for this position, you will just dip. So our bases will dip with their arms. You're going to keep your arms by your side, find your base's shoulders again with our ankles locked, and then down to the floor.